guys, we are in the basement, and today on this episode of John Sucks at Video Games, guys, we're gonna do a product review. That's right, we're gonna review something actually that I was very resistant to. I did not want to buy this. And we're talking, of course, about a gaming keyboard and mouse, because guys, I didn't want to spend the dough, okay? I'm like, I don't need a gaming keyboard and mouse. I've been PC gaming forever, and I've always just used a regular old keyboard. Right here is my trusty old Dell. I love these keyboards. Now, this is a membrane keyboard, and all the kids, especially my friend Michelle from my podcast, Video Game Outsider, she kept telling me I needed to get a mechanical keyboard, but I didn't want to spend the money. And then she sent me a link to this right here, okay? And this right here is the Cooler Master Devastator 2, okay? It's a bundle here with a keyboard and a mouse, but what I liked about it the most was the price, okay? Because this right here retails for $35, and you get a gaming keyboard that lights up with LEDs and also a gaming mouse. Now, I already had a gaming mouse, actually, this one right here. This came with my motherboard on my gaming PC. It's an MSI mouse by, it's called the Kinzu V3. I actually like this mouse. This is actually a $30 plus mouse, but this set right here actually costs as much as this mouse, and again, it comes with a keyboard and a mouse. Now, what's different about this as compared to other or even the previous Devastator keyboard is it has something they're calling mechanical, okay? It's not a mechanical keyboard that costs $100 plus, it's a mechanical. Now, this is something they came up with. It's actually a membrane keyboard that, as far as I can tell, makes noise, okay? And right here, it says here it's got UV-coated keycaps, a transparent plunger, steady support housing, middle plate, and tactile dome foundation. At the end of the day, basically, this keyboard makes noise, a lot more noise than a regular old membrane keyboard. And I was gonna do just like an unboxing video. I decided no, I wanted to actually try this keyboard for a good 2 weeks before I passed judgment on it. Anyway, why don't we go over to my computer and I'll show you guys the keyboard and the mouse and what's going on with the Devastator 2 by Cooler Master. All right, guys, let's go over here where I have the keyboard and the mouse all set up on my gaming PC. Now, the one thing you'll notice right away is that this looks pretty cool. I mean, for $35, guys, you could do a lot worse here. This looks slick, okay? And what's really cool is if you press this button right here, the keyboard lights up, okay? Let me turn the light off, actually, so you can really see it. So the thing really glows kind of cool, and it's red and black. They have other colors, too, but I got the red and the black one because that's kind of my motif here with the gaming PC. You can see my PC over here under my desk glowing red. Also, actually, I did an LED video in a previous video if you guys want to see how I LED'd my PC. But anyway, here it is. I think it looks very handsome. Again, for $35, it's kind of unbelievable they're actually able to sell this thing with the mouse and the keyboard. It all glows red. The mouse glows red. The keyboard glows red. But guys, how does it perform? Well, I don't know. I don't really know what to say. I'll say this, though, with this mechanical thing, it's definitely louder than your standard keyboard, okay? Because, like, here's my Dell. I don't know if you guys can actually hear this, but, you know, if we press this button here, I'll actually hold it close to the mic. Hear that? Not much, right? But if we come over here and I press the J button, everything's a lot noisier, okay? So does that add to the tactile feel of the game? I think so. Does it give you that absolute positive, you know, reinforcement you get with a mechanical keyboard? No, not at all. You know, actually at times when you're typing, the whole thing kind of feels cheap because you're hearing that clacking sound that's kind of artificial. But you know what? It kind of works. I have to tell you, I really have been enjoying this keyboard, especially while playing Overwatch. I don't know why, maybe it's mental, but I was thinking to myself, wow, I'm actually doing better. Is it this keyboard? You know, so I don't know. And I guess you can also remove the keys and replace them with mechanical key buttons, just the button, the superficial button on the top. But in general, I'm pretty pleased with this. I think it feels right. There's kind of a palm rest here. Typing's comfortable. Now the mouse might be kind of a different story. I kind of liked my other mouse a little bit better, I'm not gonna lie. The shape of this one is pretty decent. It does have side buttons here. In Overwatch here, like the back side button is reload, or no, I'm sorry, actually it's melee by default, and you can map the buttons to the game, within the game to the buttons on the mouse here. Now it does have a pretty nice scroll wheel. I actually really like the way this feels. And then there's a button right here which allows you to change the DPI, or the sensitivity of the mouse. Now the DPI setting, that is a hardware thing that's in the mouse. Now my other mouse, the MSI one, it actually had a piece of software where you could program the different DPI, the different sensitivities. So you could actually have two settings that you programmed, and you could say you want it ultra sensitive or just kind of sensitive, you know, like 500 DPI or 3000 DPI. With this one, it basically has three modes that you can cycle through, and the modes are 1000, 1600, and 2000 DPI. So if you touch this, it cycles again from 1000 to 1600 to 2000. I don't really think there's a major difference between those three different settings. I really don't feel it at all, because basically if you're to cycle it, your mouse pointer here should slow down as you kind of go across the screen. And I really don't feel a big difference between the three settings. Whereas with the MSI, I really could make a big difference. Like I could have one setting that was, again, was 500, another was 3000. And say if you're in like a first-person shooter and you want to go to like the really like slower kind of mouse tracking speed, like the 500, like for sniping or something, you could really do that. With this one, again, I don't think there's a huge difference. But in general, I do like the mouse. This setting I really don't use, the different the different DPI settings. But like, you know, playing games, I kind of dig it, man. I think it's great for Overwatch, and you know, I played World of Warcraft with this last week or a few days ago, and I'll tell you though, that's when I was really kind of putting this keyboard to work and kind of working, you know, stressing it a little bit, and it was good. You know, I felt like I was really like all over the place with the buttons, and it was a little clumsy at first, but I really kind of got used to it, but I'm really loving it with Overwatch. So, you know, for $35, I think this is a tremendous value. I don't see how you could do any worse or any better for this kind of dough. And actually right now on Amazon, it's actually $30. So yes, I would recommend this, absolutely. Now I don't think I'm gonna go out there and find other keys and stuff and replace the buttons. I don't know, is there a reason to do that? But let's see if you guys can hear me. You can hear the kind of button action going on here. But I do think the sound is a little artificial. I don't know. It's kind of a superficial thing that's going on here. But it feels decent. Is it making me a better gamer? I don't think so. But mentally, in the beginning, I kind of felt that way. But I think that's a bit of BS. So, all right, guys, that was the Cooler Master Devastator 2. Would I buy it again? I think I would, actually. For $35, honestly, I don't see how you could do any better at this price point. I think this is a really solid keyboard. I think the mouse is good enough. And again, for $35, I think this probably is the best gaming keyboard and mouse combination on the market. The mechanical design, you know what? I kind of like the noise. I really do. At first, I thought, oh, this is kind of a gimmick. It's kind of making the keyboard sound cheap. But after a while, you kind of get used to the clacking and you want the clacking sound. I know it sounds totally weird. Has it made me a better gamer? Probably not, but mentally, psychologically, I was thinking so. I don't know, guys. So for $35, if you want that kind of positive reinforcement, I really do recommend the Devastator 2. I think it's pretty decent, guys. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to keep up with these videos here on John Sucks at Video Games, be sure to click subscribe. I try to release videos at least once a week, and I'm always streaming over at twitch.tv/BLKDOG7. Sometimes I send those streams over to this YouTube channel if I think they're worthy. And I also do a lot of streaming with Michelle from Video Game Outsiders. So if you want to see those, go to twitch.tv/BLKDOG7 and also search for the Video Game Outsiders Twitch feed on Twitch. And of course, check out my podcast, Video Game Outsiders, at videogameoutsiders.com, You Suck Show at yousuckshow.com, and Arcade Outsiders at arcadeoutsiders.com. And of course, I have another YouTube channel called John's Arcade Guys, where we talk about this stuff, the arcade games. We do restores and road trips and game reviews and all that stuff in the basement, in the garage, on the road, everywhere. Go to youtube.com/John's Arcade. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. I'll see you very soon. Later, and bye.